Hey guys, Ryan here. First things first, you don't actually suck at Warzone. I just want to point out the mistakes you're probably making, help you get better at the game, and help you become the player you probably want to be if you're watching a video like this. So we're going to begin with talking about how you probably don't think the little things matter in Warzone. And if you don't understand what I mean by the little things, I mean pre-aiming, not sprinting all the time, learning to predict where your opponents are, all of these tiny little details, learning to just rotate 10 seconds earlier instead of wasting your time. And you may not think that 2-3 seconds you just wasted looting is all that important, but all of these little things really add up. And Warzone is about the sum of a bunch of knowledge of little parts that add up to be a much greater thing. And this is something I wish people understood. When you watch someone like me get some cool clips, you watch me get a 20 kill game, or you watch someone even better than me, you watch them do some crazy thing, there are a million little good skills and little things they're doing right. And a lot of people just think it's one big thing. They think they all just have this massive ability to do these things. It's not like that, guys. Their movement, that's a small thing. The way they pre-aim, small thing. The way they crouch up and down, understand high ground, the way they rotate, the way they don't waste time looting, all of these little things, they add up. And if you watch my videos, if you watch any coaching videos, or just watch people, look at all the little things they do differently than you. How often are people using hop-ups better than you? How do they use score streaks? How many plates do they put into their backpack? What guns do they choose to use? How do they engage fights? Why do they pre-aim certain angles? Why do they lay down in certain places? Why do they crouch? Are you doing all these little things wrong? And I know I just gave you a huge list of things, but it's to make you appreciate how big of the skill gap it is in this game. And a lot of that is due to these tiny little skills people don't appreciate and put focus on because maybe they never thought about it. But once you start thinking about it and realizing how important they are, you'll never look back. Moving on to the second topic, and this is going to be you lack the mechanical skill necessary to be a good player. And this isn't an insult to people, and I want to make sure and make one thing clear. Getting good at a game, learning to have a good aim, it takes time, and there's no substitute for that. You can learn to get better from my videos by understanding things like centering, by maybe putting on things like dynamic or linear, but you also have to understand it takes time. It takes a lot of reps, it takes a lot of practice, and none of this comes without that. And that's the main way you need to get the mechanical skill and prowess necessary to actually be a good player. Because while you may never be one of the world's best Warzone players, we all want to be pretty decent. We all want to have fun when we hop on. And that's what I'm trying to help you accomplish in this video, is just make you a better player and understand how to fix the flaws in your game and fix the things that are holding you back. And a lot of it just comes down to things like aim, movement, and your overall understanding of what skill is. If you can't hit your shots reliably, how are you going to kill people? You can put yourself in the best position, you can do everything right, but if you can't get the kill, well, that's not your fault, that's not an insult, it's just what you need to work on to get better. But I also understand where it's frustrating for people, where sometimes the only fix is time. Because sometimes you watch these videos, you hop on, and you just want to be better. You just want to actually hit your shots, and sometimes it doesn't happen. And I understand why that's frustrating, because years ago, that's where I was at with Call of Duty. I was trying to go pro 6-7 years ago. I was working hard, and I was a good pub player, but I didn't understand how much work I had to put in to be great, and I just had to put my head down, put my ego aside, and actually become good at the game. And that's how I'm good at Warzone now, because 5, 7, 6 years ago I put in a ton of work to actually get good. I never became a pro, but I got close and blah blah blah, and I'm just trying to share that knowledge. It takes time, but I promise once you start to actually focus on getting better, you will get better. It may be tough to see your progress, but you can measure it in different ways. And if you just watch your gameplay and notice how much better you look, you're going to be so impressed with yourself, and that's one of the best feelings anyone can get from pretty much anything. So the third and final topic is just be a good teammate, guys. And you're probably wondering, bro, what do you mean? I'm a great teammate. I share my resources, I buy my teammates back, I give them cash, blah blah blah. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trade position, guys. How often are you actually with your teammates when you need them to be? How often are you getting their back? How often are you playing the correct angles to cover them from afar if you can't play up close trade position? If you don't know what the concept of trade position is, let me break it down for you. If you are fighting a squad, you should be so close to your teammate, or at least close enough that if they were to go down, you can get there in time to pick up the trade. That's why it's called trade position, because your teammate's gonna shoot them, they're gonna go down, then you're gonna pick up the trade. Yeah, he might have went down, but you're there for the kill. It's a trade, you're gonna revive or whatever. And if you're playing as a squad, that's how you're gonna beat full teams. But that's also how you beat teams better than you. If you run into a squad of people that are better than you, well then you want to play trade position, because that's how you're going to beat them. I also want to say, and this is the other thing, people underestimate how important it is to keep teammates alive. As the game goes on, it gets increasingly harder to buy your teammates back. There's less and less buy stations. There's less money around. Buy stations are most likely going to be watched by enemies. So if you die, you're costing your teammates the opportunity to essentially win the game, or at least have better odds to win the game. I don't want to say you're costing them opportunity, because let's be honest, we've all won games man down. I've won plenty of games in solos and quads where I was solo. But the point is most likely if you're an average player, you are very reliant on having your teammates up in the final circle. Because if you have 2 people up in quads versus even 3 or 4, that's a huge difference if you're all average players around a 1.5 KD, and you need to understand that. So I'm gonna make a full video on trade position one day, but just understand that right now, it's not good enough just to buy your teammates back, just to be a good guy dropping resources. Make sure you're getting your teammates back, make sure you're covering them, and make sure you're making it a priority. Anyways guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thank you so much for watching these videos, guys. I really enjoy making this content, and just thank you for giving me an outlet to make these videos and just talk about the game that I love. It's been Ryan. I hope you have a good day. Peace.